Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the iRacing Formula 3.5 Championship here at lovely Circuit of the Americas here in Austin, Texas. I'm Austin Knight, joined by Sam Fitzpatrick, and broadcasting is brought to you by Frederick Nixel. And today we're here and deep in the heart of Texas. It is a lovely track, a hot track, and it's going to be providing a challenge for the drivers here on track. Sam, what do you think?
Absolutely. This is one of the most famous circuits now in the world. It's only been around for less than a decade, and yet got such a reputation as this circuit. Long, straight, fast corners, slow corners, got absolutely everything, and a massive challenge to the drivers. One of the most tricky circuits we are going to visit all season.
It definitely is, and it's a driver's difficulty, certainly. Erica Lindstrom letting us know that this is definitely the hardest track with the tires because the track temperature here insanely hot. 38 degrees centigrade. As an American, I have no idea how hot that is, but I know it's more than 20, which is usually what we're at,
About
and that's about 80.
95.
95?
Yeah, I think it's about 95 Fahrenheit, which is pretty warm for these guys. So yeah, that's going to be tricky for them to deal with, and it might warm up as well as the session goes on. As I believe we are in qualifying, and in fact we might even be getting ready for the race already.
We are in qualifying right now, but I believe we're going to be hitting the top of the 8 minutes, unlike last week where everybody qualified on the grid, which I've never seen before.
I mean, it's rare, and when that happens, you honestly, all drivers should just get together and pat themselves on the back, because for everyone to do their laps, it is very rare. Unlikely that's going to happen here. A lot of off tracks, of course, very potential, and so I imagine a few drivers may get their off tracks midway through their second lap and so back to the pits. Also, a long circuit this, so it does take you much of the 8 minutes just to get your out lap and then your 2 flying laps all completed and done. But it does seem like the majority of the drivers have been able to achieve that already.
Yeah, definitely. This track, a lot of runoff. Very easy to have an off track, especially in that first sector with the S's, and then the winding bit up into the second hairpin. And then you got the arena section, which is great for battling. Such a wide track, so many opportunities to go into it, but very difficult to keep it on the track, especially if you're going for that lap time.
Definitely, but it's one of the least important qualifying probably of the season. Very possible to overtake around this place. It's tricky to stay close through the first and last sectors, but then you got those really long straights as well, particularly the back straight, one of the longest straights in all of world motorsport. It's not even a straight, but still a flat out area, and massive braking zones around this place. It's the traditional wide entry into a hairpin after a long straight. That is the best formula for overtaking, and so should be very possible for drivers who maybe didn't have a great qualifying to make their way up, as I believe we are now preparing for the grid.
Yes, we are. So let's pop up the grid right now as Tim Delisle makes his return back up on pole, followed by Paul Ilbry, Edward Samborski, the American sitting in the second row, Jose Lagana in fourth, followed by Manu Ray Largo, James J. Pinkster, Amalia Ness, Jorge Esposito, Cedric Bill, Max American, Phil Reed, Thomas Knoll in 12th place. They're followed by Rob Crouch, Omar Baja, Theodore Burns, Luke Groom, Shane Russell, Juan Parada Jr., Rob Bohr, Ronaldo Augusto, and Ivan Eifmoff in 21st place. And that is your grid here at Circuit of the Americas.
Yeah, plenty of the drivers yet to even get onto the grid. I'm only seeing about maybe 6 drivers on the grid at the moment, which is surprisingly few. Everyone's just waiting for a little while. Of course, really tricky on the cold tires is this circuit going to be. We saw it in the Apex Racing League GT Championship a few weeks ago, where a lot of the GTs came to turn 2 and just spun it by themselves. Completely, probably 2 or 3 of them just lost the rear end by themselves around an easy flat out corner. So watch out for that one. We might see a few lockups. Can be a troublesome turn 1 here, and then do the S's. Plenty of opportunities for mistakes on this first tour of the circuit.
Definitely, these guys probably afraid of cooking the tires just a little bit as everyone is grading up right now. We're still waiting on one person to show up, and that would be James J. Pinks here. But all the drivers are set. Here come the lights. Ladies and gentlemen, the heartbeats are rising, and so are the rest because we are about to go green flag racing here at Circuit of the Americas for the iRacing Formula 3.5 Championship. Side by side, Delisle and Ilberg heading into turn one. Samborski looking like he's under pressure already from Longa as they go side by side through turn two.
Yes, Zamborski might just stay ahead, and Langa having to stay behind, but Zamborski almost running into the curb and now running off the circuit. That could be a slowdown, and if it is, that's going to lose him loads of positions at Zamborski. At the moment, he is keeping his foot down, but good effort there from Langa to try to gain a place. Yunus has got past Hinska. Bill gets past Exposito. Awful start for Phil Reed and Max Markin. I believe they were starting alongside one another on the grid, just on the outer edges of the top 10.
Look at James sending it up the inside at the hairpin. And what a calculated move by James J. Pinks here. A couple cars going off the track back there. But what a move from the Tepa driver.
Yeah, getting back that position. Going to be vulnerable into this next corner. You can see they're all battling just behind these drivers as well. Pinska goes defensive. They'll be careful from the cutback, but seems though he's fended that one off for now. Further back, Rob Crouch up 4 places now. He's had a great start as Crouch. He's just at the front of this pack. Also, it's Thomas Knoll trying to gain some places, and it's a very good section of corners this because you can run side by side all the way through.
Yeah, Ivan Alfmoff has jumped already. Well, as I was about to say, 6 places, but I think he just got passed by somebody, and now he's up 5 places. Still the biggest mover so far at the end of this first lap. And when I say end, I mean currently.
And Frederick doing a great job here with the cameras letting us know all those position changes on this opening lap of the races. Coming into the pits is Phil Reed. He had already had an awful start. Why he decided to come to the pits, perhaps qualifying fuel for him, or maybe picked up a slowdown and didn't serve it. Maybe a jump start, perhaps. Something.
One car launched very early on the start. That may have been him, but somebody had a massive start off the line.
Yeah, and he was starting in the midfield, so yeah, perhaps possible.
There were a few people going off track, but no real accidents that I saw that really defined themselves to me, to my knowledge.
Yeah, and it was surprising, wasn't it? Because going into turn 3 normally is tricky, and we almost saw 3rd and 4th place crashing into one another, but Zamborski stayed ahead and didn't pick up a sled despite having all 4 wheels off the circuit.
Oh, look at this move!
Gaining advantage as Parada, he's making up a couple of places. He got past... sorry, is that Alfimov?
Ivan.
Pass, yeah.
Yeah, qualified last, biggest mover so far on the grid. What a lovely move heading into the hairpin, but now he's under pressure heading into the arena, but he just beat him onto the brakes right there. And, oh, one car just went steaming off there, but he's okay. Miles of runoff here at Circuit of the Americas, so very good chances that you will not be damaging your car into a wall.
For gaining a place on Burns right there, and Alfamov after gaining pulling away from these drivers now. You see Auguste being left in his wake. You kind of see the turbulent air effect kicking in at about a second in this car. Donington, it was really horrendous where no one could get within about 8/10 of one another unless he had about half a second a lap advantage. I think around this place is going to be a bit more possible. Of course, they do have their DRS as well. 8 of them, I believe, across the event. You can use them wherever you like. So watch out for that one. You can see that if a small gap in the rear wing that you might be able to see, if that disappears, then the DRS is being used. So keep an eye out for that one.
Yeah, it's very difficult to follow through the first sector. The second sector is a bit easier because the first sector, it's all high-speed following, medium-speed corners. That's where the dirty air takes effect. But just look at Longa setting it up the inside. Peacecar, though, gets into the back of And ooh, that was a big hit. And he's picked up some damage as well.
Now Zviesky from Pinska, the gap was always going to close, but then at the same time, perhaps Olago should have left him a bit more room.
I
So
believe
the
Ulaga
wide,
has damage as well.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, there's going to be damage as well for these
Woo!
guys. Perhaps the teammates are coming out at the front of that. Oh, well, I thought it was going to be Olago. That would have been move of the century if he'd been able to pull off that mega undercuts on the pair. Them didn't quite happen for him.
Yeah,
So
yeah, look
Olago
at the
got
front
ahead
left
of,
wing. The front left wing is bent.
yeah.
It's not as bent badly as James's car up there, but James, you can definitely tell there is a flick in the front right. As that Cedric Bill trying to make a move on the stricken
Oh,
Olada. He's going to have an advantage. Oh, Pacier's in the pit lane.
didn't look like that much damage. I mean, he did a 52.5. That was cutting the final corner to go because of the pit lane, but isn't that so? Must have got a meatball, can you imagine? Although it is very early on in the race. 15 laps in this pace is
Ooh,
not fun with damage.
that's Olaga. Olaga had a lot of wheel spin coming out of turn one. Here comes Bill trying to look around the outside. So they're going to follow each other through the S's. Somebody went way off track.
Thomas Knoll catching up to these guys, and there's going to be a few others as well. Baja, Groom, maybe even Exposito might get involved as well. Alphamov has had good pace. He was faster than all these drivers. In fact, Olaga just did a 54 compared to the race leader's 48. That was because of his half spin. They are losing each other a lot of time at the moment. Oh, and now there's another spin. And that's going to be in the middle of the circuit. They have to spray either side.
Olaga cannot believe this.
I mean, two identical incidents, wasn't it?
Same corner.
Yep. Both times you could argue maybe he should have left a bit more space. I think the first time he could have done. That second time, though, it was a very late move from his rival, and it was Cedric Bill, wasn't it? I think that was got to be pinned on Bill, that one.
Definitely. That corner is just, everyone wants the best exit, but remember, they have DRS here. They can use it, unlike they did at Donington, where there is no real opportunity to use it. Here, there's always an opportunity to use DRS. And down that long back straight, or as I like to call it, just rolling Texas hills, it is so fun. DRS open, you're following on somebody. As Eifmoff under pressure from Parada. Parada sending up the inside into the final corner. It's not going to work as Eifmoff has the speed around the outside. And now Rob Bohr getting in there as well.
Yeah, Bohr might use a DRS, although it doesn't seem like he did. Oh,
it's a very short opportunity, but he's got him on the apex. But not on the exit of 2. You see Rob just twitching around, trying to find the best line past Parada. Because he knows he's faster than him.
I mean, it's been a great race so far. The amount of overtakes we've seen in these early stages, it seems like we've got maybe the front runners who are in a little bit of a cluster, right? A little bit of difference between each of them. You can see there about second and a half between each one of them at the moment, but then once you get down to 7th place or Crouch even in 6th place, everyone else is just in a big queue to the end of the pack as Prado and Bohr are side by side. You can see them a little bit further back. Bohr's very nice livery, and he has been able to get past. Oh no! And Prada's made contact, and Bohr wants to stay ahead, and now they make contact again and again and again.
There's a lot of arguing on the voice chat right now.
Well, but yeah,
that's Parada right there.
Yeah, well, I was thinking initially Bohr did come across it when perhaps he could have stayed in the middle of the circuit, but then it was decently enough in the straight. Oh dear, the line of stern.
Bohr has a little bit of damage. I think maybe suspension damage. But up here in the battle for 6 right now. Well, battle for 7th between Noel and Baja. They're going side by side. Noel and Bill. The battle for 8th. Baja's up ahead of him.
Don't want to be biased to Thomas Knoll or anything, but I do always find myself rooting for him. He's been sticking with this car for a long time. I remember when we had the Apex Racing League 3.5 championship, which wasn't really Apex Racing League, it was just with the Apex Racing League banner. Basically, didn't go well that league. We were down to about 2 drivers by about round 10. But Knoll kept at it, I believe, for the entire season, really stuck with it, and that was a couple of years ago now. Has really put in a lot of time in this car, and it does always seem to work out for him up in 9th position at the moment.
There's Zito sitting in the draft behind Luke Groom. And Groom, he's enabled DRS, and these guys all are actually using DRS right now.
Yep, and it kind of nullifies the the advantage of it. Is a fantastic strategy moment, though, isn't it? Using the DRS. I don't think they should use it in Formula 1 necessarily, but it's pretty fun to see it going on in iRacing.
You definitely cannot say any no to that. Also want to shout out Greg Woods for subscribing to us here on Apex Racing TV.
Yes, this is the first COTA race we've had since kind of the situation kicked off, and of course the situation kind of caused COTA's future to be put in a bit of doubt. Potentially may not be able to financially survive this period. Because hopefully it will do, because it's a fantastic facility more than anything else, and it's a superb spectator circuit. We still will always have it in iRacing.
Yeah, definitely. It's my favorite circuit to drive on, watch a race, and then just visit to for a concert or for a soccer game if I ever go to those. But they have a stadium inside the infield now and a lot of cool facilities around here. I do know that they do get a grant from the city of Austin and the state of Texas.
Yeah, I mean it's got to stay. I mean, how can it shut? You think all the just pour money into it from like the American base or the American wide motorsports motorsports industry, and keep this place open, because it's really should be. Always has had brilliant races in WEC and Formula 1, of course, and MotoGP as well. Marc Marquez winning pretty much every time he's visited this place. As Markin, looks like he's going to get past Burns. Burns
Dive down to the inside. Very, very risky move by Max Markin, making it work for 15th. He's got Russell behind him, but Russell struggling in the slow section. Cool thing about this corner at the end of the arena, you can take so many different lines, especially in a battle, and it will work.
Yeah, it's one of the best kind of complexes in all of motorsport. Often, circuits try to, or Tilke tries to replicate the Hockenheim final sector, which is all right to drive, but it's awful for racing, but it's too narrow. Side by side, just further ahead, there's Yunus and Baja. Yunus staying ahead of Baja.
Yeah, but Baja's got that inside line. Well, I spoke too soon right there. But Baja and Yunus, these two guys have been battling very closely behind Rob Crouch. And we were talking about Circuit of the Americas and different track opportunities with this track and how no one uses this circuit or that circuit. You were saying something about the West Circuit that nobody uses. I agree with you. There's not a lot of stuff on there, but I can tell you, after driving the West Circuit on a track day, it's fantastic.
It looks a lot of fun. I mean, it is all corners, like I said. We were having this chat before the broadcast started. It is just all corners. I mean, I think that circuit actually incorporates much of what makes COTA very good. You still got the S's. You still got this really nice racecraft end to the track. It just gets rid of a couple of the corners, and it means that you can have the good parts of the circuit a little bit more often. It's strange that it's not used more.
I do know the Stadium Super Trucks guys use that circuit with the safety barrier up.
Right, yeah, probably wise.
They just... snuck their way through there.
There was also a rallycross circuit as well for
Yes.
Global Rallycross in the final sector. Shame that iRacing haven't scanned all of them. I believe that the Barcelona one, they've literally got the jump. I mean, you can literally drive the jump currently, so I don't know why it hasn't been modeled yet.
That's because the rights to the Rallycross layout belongs to Codemasters.
Really? You see, I would have thought Hell would belong to Codemasters as well, though, wouldn't it? Or does Codemasters not have Hell in their games?
I knew in the original Dirt Rally they did.
Because of course I believe that's in the World Rallycross Championship is Hell in Norway.
Well, if any of y'all know more about contracts and stuff with track licensing, put it down in the chat.
Definitely. Unfortunately, this place was scanned, I believe, before they built the Rallycross circuit. It was scanned soon after it was built, I believe, back in 2012 or 2013. So
This track was built in 2012. That was when the first F1 race was held here.
Yeah.
But the Rallycross circuit is right here, and that was built in about, I believe, 2016, 2017.
Head on down there, Steve and whoever. Scan it and add it to the game, please. It's easy to get to them bloomin' Norway, isn't it? They went to Norway to scan like a half-mile circuit. You can go down to Texas, guys.
I'll do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm right down the street from it, so why not?
I'll maybe have a rescan of this place in the meantime. Are there any other good Texan circuits?
There's Texas World. Oh wait, that's gone. No.
No. Okay.
There is a street circuit around Reliant Stadium in Houston. That was a pretty okay circuit. Kart used to race there, but it's not a thing anymore since they built a convention center right on the old circuit. But I'm trying to think of actual circuits. There are a few small grassroots circuits here and there, which I can recommend. Those are very fun for anyone who's got a grassroots car and wants to take a tour of Texas. I do know there is a very popular 24 Hours of Lemons event right under Houston. But other than that, the only other speedway in Texas that is massive would be Texas Motor Speedway, which just got rescanned.
And of course, the old version of that is now free. So recommend anyone to try that one. Here is Augusto.
Oh, he's gaining on him.
Must be using DRS.
He is using DRS. And he was kind enough to color his DRS flap red so we can know.
Thank you to him. By the way, Race Leader was pretty close. Also, thanks to Kenny Wallace for letting us know about the Hell and the Codemaster situation. Also, thanks to Virginia, 55 people watching, which is very appreciated. So, Dalal and Ilbrink, now 1 second between the two of them. It's been quite topsy-turvy. I've seen Ilbrink take as much as half a second out of the race leader at times, although that last lap, it was a 10th here, 10th there. Sector 1, there are a lot of sectors around this place. Here we are. Yeah, quite big differences. 5 tenths one lap, 4 tenths the next. But Ilbrink gaining half a second in the past 2 laps. This is where it gets... Oh, that's a big slide for Ilbrink. And that's going to heat up his tires as well.
Yeah, halfway through the race is when you're going to start noticing the tires here really start to struggle because 95 degrees here in the air. That's not the track temperature. And, oh, side-by-side, Baja. And,
oh, wow.
Ooh, that was a very risky rejoin. Cedric Bill almost getting collected by Yanes right there.
That's Baja ahead of Yanes, I believe, for the first time in this race. So, quite big for him. Bill, is he serving a slowdown?
He definitely has to.
I'm not sure if he gets a slowdown there because we saw Samborski do a similar thing, but Bill went even further off the check. There's Groom getting past Augusto.
I must say, it is easy to serve a slowdown in that section because it's a lot of lifting through there. So you can hide it in the corners. Augusto swinging it down to the inside. No, that's Luke Groom swinging it down to the inside. Augusto around the outside. A little bit tricky in the braking zone, but Exposito swings it around the outside. And he's going to get his position on Groom. But Groom looking around the outside right now. They're side by side. They might go 3 wide in the arena section. And Exposito gets the move. And now Augusto looking around the outside. But that corner is very hard to do the outside move right there. But you can't pull off a switchback.
Really tricky on all 4 tires this circuit. First half of the lap. Tricky on the front tires.
Oh, understeer. He's taking the IndyCar line, and he's going to be serving a slowdown for that.
Would absolutely love it if they got rid of that 1X and we did just run the IndyCar line. Far better than keeping it within the confines.
I prefer COTA to have a 20-turn layout, not a 21-turn layout. Thank you.
You don't. Well, it's still a corner though, isn't it?
It's just a ridiculous corner, like that line that they take.
What about Watkins Glen turn 1 though?
Well, that's Watkins Glen. That's different.
Okay, fair enough. No, I just get infuriated whenever I drive around this place and get a 1X for running wide. It's like, to be fair, those last 2 corners are. I was chatting with Adam Hitchcock, not sure if he's still listening along. This is where we came up with Chasm. That was a fantastic broadcast. But we were discussing how this circuit is brilliant, apart from the last 2 corners.
Look at Longa! Longa and Samborski. Longa hopping over the curves right there. They're still side by side, but the American Samborski holding it down in 3rd place right now. And you just see the difference in lines that these two take. Samborski using the actual racing line as they fly under the coolest turn here underneath the tower that if you ever gone up there, it's a beautiful way to watch the race and a beautiful way to have champagne.
I'm sure we could just position a camera on that and we could see the whole race just from that one angle, to be honest, couldn't we? I mean, it does show the entire circuit.
It's got a glass floor, though, so if you're scared of heights, do not go up there. Oh, Longa sending it down to Main Street. But he's gotten the move right there. That was a vicious send from one side of the track to the other. And the cool thing about turn 1 here, it widens as you get into the braking zone. So the opportunities to do that is just door open. So Samborski falling down to 4th as Longa ahead of him. And, oh, we got a little bit of contact at turn 1. Cedric Bill, massive nick on the wing right there.
What happened here? Baja and was this Bill?
Bill.
Ahead, and then Baja goes to the inside. Bill. There's
Bill.
Locked on the brakes, and then
that was Younes.
Yeah, Eunice then was at the front, wasn't he? Then I think.
Yeah, Cedric Bill though. Look at that wing damage. That's gonna be hurting him, especially through this sector. You can see the train of cars already behind him. Thomas Knoll trying to find ways around him. He's going to get a good opportunity here on the straight. And all these guys kind of resetting themselves as these guys have been pretty much nose to gearbox right now throughout this entire race.
Easy for Knoll. Using the DRS as well, but with that damage for the driver ahead, I don't think he even needed DRS to get that one done. Oh,
it's getting a little bit of traffic jamming back there. Yeah, Bill is definitely holding Esposito up. It's looking like I-35 right now. Famous highway in Austin. Actually, the interstate in Austin that is always having traffic no matter what time you visit Austin. Even right now, it has traffic when everyone's at home. I don't know how, but they just park the cars there.
Turn 1's tricky to defend as we move on to lap 14. Good, going to try to defend though. Puts his car on the inside. This is the place they want to be. Oh, this could be a very nice move from Exposito. Just to go round the outside and gets the inside for 2. And that was very simply done. Good driving as well from Bill not to understeer into it.
Beautiful move. Beautiful move. And now Baja looking on the attack on Bill.
just incredible to see the turbulent air in these cars. Because they're nothing like the Formula One cars of nowadays. They're much better than that, but still they are so affected. It'll be interesting to see if we get any. Ooh, puts his car down.
Baja.
Oh,
Oh,
that
and
was
right
so
behind him, no,
close.
gets tapped and turned around. Was that a Burns? It was Burns that. No, it was Augusto that hit him.
Yeah, not sure. Oh, 3 wide into the hairpin. Does Alphamov know he's there? He doesn't need. Well, he does leave playing with him. Good driving there from Alphamov to be aware of his mirrors, and in the end, Burns gets ahead of Augusto regardless. I think it was Baja who made the contact, wasn't it?
No, Baja was clear for him. It was behind Baja.
I mean, yeah. Okay.
Let's settle it and watch the replay.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
you're
here's
absolutely
Baja
right.
going down to the inside of Bill, and it was Noel who just got tapped by the Haps car behind him, and that's the 15 of Augusto.
Yep. Might be some damage for Augusto as well. Couldn't really do a whole lot about that, to be fair. Rinaldo. He was randomly in a IMSA Michelin session earlier on. I think it was a practice session around Snetstone, best circuit in the world. I don't know why he was there. I couldn't put my finger on where I knew him from. I knew him from somewhere, but I didn't know where. But it was clearly from this series because he does every week at this championship.
It's always fun when you hop into a session just by yourself and you aren't really expecting to see anyone and you just see the entire people that you commentate on.
Yeah.
I've had that experience a lot of times, especially with the NASCAR circus. As look at this late move by Exposito, sending it into the mirrors of Noel. And Noel's going to be behind Exposito. Now, Noel's going to be getting a good draft, but we've seen on how skilled Exposito is on his brakes. Who's going to win this battle as they enter the arena?
Noel sticks it down the inside, but Exposito around the outside. Gonna have to
Oh, he's got held up onto the curbs.
Doesn't get the traction off on that AstroTurf, and Noel runs wide himself, and he's going to give up track position.
Yeah, Exposito, very well played right there. He knows if you stick around the outside for long enough, that outside is going to turn into an inside line, and he played that to a T. A little bit sketchy at times, but Exposito up into 7th. He's been putting on some great moves today after his not so great start. And Alfmoff is up 10 spots so far.
Yeah, we haven't seen him actually overtake that many people, but I don't think he's made any contact, which is like the one guy in this entire midfield chain who hasn't made contact so far. And that's going to really suit him well in these closing stages. Not sure how many DRSs he's used either, so watch out for him. I'm not familiar with Alphamov. Have we seen him in this series before?
No, I think he's making his debut here with us right now, because when I saw his name, I saw him at the bottom of the grid. I'm like, oh, that's a new name, but looking at him, he is the lowest number in the field, but still, the SOF here is a insane amount if we can get the SOF on the screen, because like always here in the iRacing Formula 3.5 series, we have one of the highest SOFs on the entire service for this broadcast. But he's sitting at Ivan's sitting at a 3.4K IR, and Tim Delisle 7.7K IR. Just to show you the range here.
I mean, that's still good, to be fair, in the 3K. I am 3.6 personally. What are you, Austin?
1,000.
4,000.
Huh?
Did you say 4,000?
No. Yeah. Let's pretend I'm at 4,000. Okay. Good.
I genuinely thought you said that, but clearly it was much lower. Oh well, let's just get back to that anyway. We'll get off that subject. Alphamov gets back ahead of Cedric Bill. Burns and Augusto quite close, but Augusto, of course, with potentially with some damage after making contact earlier on. Back again comes Burns. Did get spun earlier on. Apologies, that's Bill going past Augusto. Burns
Yeah,
got
such a
spun earlier
build.
on, of course. He's done well to recover.
That's a new paint for Bill he's running too. No, that's not Bill. That is Burns I'm talking
Burns.
about.
I'm liking that. That's a bit of a McLaren orange.
It's not a McLaren car though. It's got some white in there, and I'm trying to see where I recognize that car before, because I have a high feeling it's based off of something. It's kind of reminded me of Scott Dixon right there. It's a beautiful car, I must say that.
Yeah, it's very nice. KMR. I don't know what company is KMR, but they're getting a little bit of
I
free
believe that's his
publicity here.
team.
Maybe. What could KMR stand for?
I know the R stands for racing,
Good shouts.
and maybe motorsport.
Catapult Motorsport Racing. Oh shit. Catapult starts with a C, doesn't it? Karate. There you go, yep. Kamikaze? That's a little bit... That's not really flattering your racing skills.
Kentucky?
Kentucky. Nice one. Maybe it's one of those cheap knockoff KFC brands.
No, I was saying Kentucky as in the state, as in he might be from the state, and the entire team might be from a state that starts with a K, or it's Night Motor Racing, and I'm going to go and trademark that. 1 second.
Apologies, by the way, for any bad words you recently heard. Apologies about that.
King Flu McLaren Racing.
We could do this all day long. Anyone else who's got some ideas in the chats, let us know.
Yeah, that King Flu was from Hans Gruber over on the YouTube chat. And we got a nice battle for fifth right now between Yanes and Crouch. These two driving down the straight, Crouch using DRS, but Yanes closing in on him. And that DMR car, lovely livery, by the way. I was talking with the painter of those cars and DFR team. Those liveries are just beautiful.
Yeah, using the gloss effects very effectively.
Urkel Lindstrom Racing.
Oh,
That'd
really?
be ELR. I think that was just a suggestion. Ooh, lovely switchback attempt by Bill, trying to battle Augusta right here. Groom, though, not Bill. As these two, little bit of history with each other. But Bill making a work around Luke Groom.
Yeah, going to be so vulnerable though going down into turn 1. This is where the drivers will be running out to DRS as we're already on the we're going on to the penultimate lap. It's been such a gone by so quick as this race, as they quite often do.
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun and watching some great old racing deep in the heart of Texas. And I must say, it doesn't seem like we've been spending 35 minutes here. And ooh, we got a car spun out of turn 1. Is that Augusto?
I certainly heard something, and there were tire marks as well, but they didn't. No one it seemed to lose that much time.
Well, you could take a big old drift here, then stay on the runoff area. But Augusto, yeah, that was a slide. Wasn't a spin. And also, Delisle and Ilbrink, both these guys went off track, exiting, entering the arena, just trying to get as much time as they are. And let's stay on these two guys, because we've covered, I don't know, 30 seconds of them so far, as it's white flag here deep in the heart of Texas between Delisle and Ilbrink up at the front. These two guys have been putting on an absolute show.
Yeah, Delal was being caught at one point. Gap went from 2 seconds down to... It was down to about 8/10, I guess, at one point, maybe 9/10. It got as low as that. And then Ilbrink has just fallen away. But good signs from Paul, because I think Tim has had a bit more of an edge than this so far this season. Usually 5 or 6 seconds clear by this point of the race. Today, I think Ilbrink has been a proper match for him. I don't think there's been any difference between these two guys. But Dalal just had enough to stay ahead, had a handy advantage as well in qualifying of upwards of 0.6 of a second. And it's just due to that qualifying position and that good race start that he's still ahead right now.
And also tire control, because we saw Ilbert struggling with his tires when he was very close up. We were talking about earlier on where the tires are so hot because the track here is insanely hot, 95 degrees in the air, and hot Texas sun will probably make this track I don't know, 125 degrees. I know it's steaming down there right now.
Absolutely. Could fry an egg, probably, although we do not recommend that. You'll get gravel in it, and tarmac would not be a nice meal. Anyway, Dalal negotiating the final couple of corners for the last time. I think he's going to take the win.
Yeah, around the final corner, led from start to finish. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner here in Texas, Tim Dillow, followed by Paul Ilbrink. And we have enough time to catch Longa coming across the line, but let's go over to Ivan Alfmoth as he's trying to swing it on over into 9th place behind Omar Baja. Looking down the inside, now trying to go for a switchback move, heading out of the arena. A few corners to go, but Baja holding down the inside. Now, here comes Burns looking down the inside of Alfmoth.
Looks as though that's going to be the last opportunity. Can go for a dive in the final corner, but is it really worth it? I don't think so. And getting a whole load of understeer right at the end is Burns. He's not going to be able to have a go into that final corner. They're all quite slow, but good giant from Baja to get 9th in the end. Alfamov, most positions gained, 11 places gained from last on the grid. Lowest I-rated driver, being a Baker tape.
What a race by these guys. What an absolute show all these drivers have given us. Rob Borg, tons of struggles through today, but he stayed in there. He stayed in there, and he's going to finish where he qualified. Shame for Pingser, who got that damage on his car very early on. And these guys been giving us a good show. Tons of actions, tons of battling. Little bit of an incident here and there, but wow, a excellent 40 minutes of racing.
Yeah, I think one of the best proper races that we've had all season. I can't think of a better race we had. I remember Silverstone was really good, but I think this might be even better. A little bit of a shame that wasn't for the top. Well, it wasn't for the top 2 positions, but I mean, we had a good battle for 3rd. Uh-oh, there goes Paul.
Showing his thought of today's race. Well, taking the win here today, it's Tim Dalal, followed by Paul Ilbrink, Jose Longa, Edward Samborski in 4th, Aval Yanes, Rob Crouch, Jorge Exposito, Thomas No, Omar Baja, Ivan Alfmoth, Theodore Burns, Ronaldo Augusto, Cedric Bill, Luke Groom, Max Marquine, Shan Russell, Juan Parada Jr., Phil Reed, Rob Board, James A. Pacer, and Manu Ray Olaga, who is having a very good race until a incident at the end of the grid. That has been the results here for the iRacing Formula 3.5 Championship at Circuit of the Americas. And Sam, I do believe you're standing beside with our winner, Tim Delisle.
Yes, Tim Delisle we're going to have a chat with now. Tim, congratulations, another race win. How easy was it? You and Paul seemed mega evenly matched for that entire race.
Thanks. Yeah, when you've got Paul behind you, it's never easy. He's so fast. Like, after qualifying, I had a really good lap there, and looking at the times, I was like, okay, this might be a comfortable race, but I was forgetting just how quick Paul is in the race. So yeah, it was a really good battle, and he made a couple of mistakes. So yeah, that was a big relief for me. So I'm happy to take this.
How was it setting up the car for this track? We got some long straights, we got some slow corners, we got some fast corners. Was there a lot of compromise when it came to the setup?
No, you'd think so with you know, that really long back straight, but downforce is king here. My thinking process going into it was before that back straight, you've got, you know, the S's that just go on forever. So if you run a little bit lower downforce, you're going to lose a lot more time behind someone there than you would gain catching them on that back straight. So yeah, I just went max downforce and it seemed to work pretty well.
And how did you find the tyre management as well? We were hearing in the chat that it's quite tricky around this circuit. How did you find it?
Yeah, I think a track like this, with temperatures we've been experiencing, thankfully it was a little cooler for the race today, but you know, a lot of races during the week have been in the 40s. I think it exposes some of the limitations of the current tyre model. I think we just don't have enough grip compared to the real cars. It's like you're on ice sometimes, especially through corners like the triple apex right-hander towards the end of the lap. It's always just on a knife edge through there. And yeah, the last few laps, my tyres felt pretty garbage, but by then Paul had sort of lost a bit of time to me. I had about a 2-second gap to manage, so yeah, it was just a matter of taking it easy and nursing the tyres to the finish.
I'm just looking at your stats for this season. That is your 12th race start, and that is your 11th win. I mean, crazy statistics. How tricky do you find it not to become complacent? How tricky is it to put in the hours each week to make sure that you keep this advantage over the rest of the field?
It's sort of a week by week thing, I guess, depending on the track we're doing. This week, I put quite a lot of time in just because I knew how tricky it was going to be. And, you know, I'm always focused on that championship at the end of the season. So I don't think I get complacent at all. It's always about pushing and improving and doing what I can.
Well, congratulations once again, Tim. Your hard work has paid off. Another race victory. Before we say goodbye, is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Thanks. Just positive sim racing. All the guys have been doing a lot of racing this week, so it's great to see we've had some really good results. Paul just pushing me to the absolute limit. I mean, he was quicker today. It was just a couple of minor missteps, and I think he hit a landmine with a few laps to go. So I might have got a bit lucky there. And just, yeah, thanks to you guys for the coverage as always.
Thank you very much, Tim, and see you next week. So that was Tim Delisle winning out here at Circuit of the Americas. I'm not sure if Austin's still here, so we will move on to the next interview. He will be Paul Ilbrink because he finished in 2nd position. Well done, Paul. Another very good result. We were just hearing from Tim. Apparently, you made a couple of mistakes, and perhaps that was the difference. In hindsight, was there anything you could have done, you think, to have beaten Tim today?
Yes, yeah. I'm like really pissed with myself, with everything now. That's a good pace, but like I made a mistake on lap 11, I think, which dropped me back a little bit, and I kind of wanted to do the cheat line out of the penultimate corner, the IndyCar line there, and I guess they changed something on the track because I got a slowdown for that, so that didn't help. But still, like, I drove back to Tim again, and when I was like a little over a second behind, I hit some kind of like weird bump braking for turn 1, which like kind of threw me off, and I because of that I misaimed at the apex and rode the curb and half spun the car, and then with like less than 4 laps to go, it was like just desperation kicking in and trying to do something, but yeah, then more mistakes came, but like couldn't catch them anymore, so just a bit disappointed, but happy with 2nd, I guess.
Yeah, he certainly should be very pleased with second position. In the race, you seem to have the legs on, Tim, but in qualifying, you were quite a bit way back. Did you feel a bit more confident with your race setup than you did on your qualifying setup?
Well, they were pretty much the same, but I don't know. I didn't do like a particularly good lap in qualifying. They were like a bit sloppy, but I don't know if Tim is probably the same. But he's just really good in qualifying anyway. So yeah, was happy that I was like kept staying at this pace in the race, and yeah, I'm not too bothered with the lack of that little bit of pace in qualifying. Like I started P2, so that like didn't make the difference.
And looking forward to next week, we've got Suzuka. Now, if I recall correctly, I think it was 3 years ago where Radicals got a 1-2 in qualifying in the World Championship Grand Prix. So you can correct me if that's hopelessly wrong, but I believe that occurred. So that should be a pretty good, pretty strong race for you.
Yeah, and if you also remember, it wasn't me on the front row, so yeah, it was Mografilia who got the pole back then. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, I'll watch that race back and let it be a big inspiration for me for next week, I guess.
Definitely. Hopefully that will help you along, Paul. Best of luck for that one. Before we say goodbye, is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, sure. I want to thank all my teammates at Radicals Online and our partners and sponsors Cranfield Simulation, Joe Rule Timing, Arma Center, Asta Sim Race, Motive Podcast, Turn Racing, Sim Mortal, Six Sideways, Track Racer, and Pixel.
Congratulations, Paul, and see you next week.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if Austin is here still. We will.
I'm
Oh,
here.
he is here. There you go. Do you want to take an interview?
Yes, I will, and we're gonna have third
Only to
in
say
here with ladies and gentlemen, welcome Jose Longa. I am not going to attempt that middle name, but how was your race, man?
Nah, you need to tell me Pleguezuelos. It's very easy. Hello, guys. Yeah, it's an interesting race. Very bad qualifying for myself. I honestly, I don't feel that was a very bad laps, in special the first one. And then I see near than 1 second with I think the same setup of my teammate team, and I think okay, this is not your track. See you the next week. But in the race, I'm feeling very good, and I think I have more or less the same pace than the leaders. But it's very very difficult to overtake in this track. In every track is very difficult, and when I overtake Eddie, I have like 10 seconds ahead Paul, and it's impossible. I only try to don't do mistakes and try to do the best lap in the last corner, in the last lap.
Well, you're putting up a amazing fight with Sam Borski throughout the race, and it was fun to watch you two when we were covering you. Other than that massive midfield battle we were watching, any plans for Sam for Suzuka?
Oof, too much plans because I am running a private championship in Spain, and we have this race one day after the next Wednesday. And yes, absolutely, I need to take the best of me, and I need to beat or stay with the leaders. I need to have the pace and team. I need to have the pace of the best drivers, because if it is not possible, then I can tell bye-bye to both championships. And yes, I love this track. I love Suzuka, and I hope I fight in the first positions with this alliance.
All right, thank you, Jose. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank?
Hmm?
Anyone who want to thank? Shout out.
No, it's okay. I only to tell. I'm sorry for my English because I am very bad. But okay.
It's okay.
Only to tell my teammate congratulations. Amazing, monster qualifying, I think, and super pace like ever. And same to Paul and top five. I think have a very good pace and was a really good race. Only did.
All right. Thank you, Jose. Lionel, I'm going to attempt your middle name just because you told me Plegazolos. That was horrible.
Very good. Thank.
And now let's bring in Edward Samborski. Howdy, Mr. Samborski. How are you doing?
Not too bad. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. Favorite track here on iRacing, favorite track in the world, actually, for me. And you representing America up there battling for the final podium spot was very fun to watch.
Thank you. It was fun to take part in it. I mean, that track certainly lived up to its reputation of being tricky. Caught me out more than once there. But it was a fun race. I had a good battle with Jose basically the whole race, even though there was at times a 2-second gap. I mean, really, we were just racing each other the whole time.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk about tires warming up very fast here. Did you have any struggle with that later on in the race?
Yeah. I tried to manage the tires as best I could throughout the race, and about lap 10, I noticed a pretty distinct fallout of the rears. So I'm not sure if I spun them coming out of turn 1 without realizing it, or if I slid the car maybe a little bit. But after that, I had to be really careful getting on the power. And then with like 15 to go, they were telling me, all right, man, I've had enough of this. So I was just trying to hold on as best I could. But unfortunately, Jose had passed me. I had to slow down and let him by a few laps later. And at that point, I was like, well, I don't want to just give up on third. So I did the best I could. But I unfortunately took a little too much life out to give myself a chance there.
All right. Well, another top 5 in your book. When have you not been in the top 5 so far this season?
Whenever I manage to not do anything incredibly foolish or rookie mistakes, I think I can land a top 5. Last week was a little less than good, but it's still a 7th. So
yeah, you had a little bit instead at the start, but hey, top 5 here, sitting in 4th place. Any hopes for Suzuka next week?
No, I'm not good there. We'll just be honest. I struggle through the whole first sector. The rest of the track I can usually do. If I can somehow manage to figure out sector 1, I'll have a chance. It won't be a bye week. I'll still race, but I probably won't drive as much as I did this week for practice and whatnot. We'll see though.
All right, thank you, man. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank?
I'll thank Downforce Racing for having me part of the team. So it was a good fun. Thank Jose for not taking me out to start when I ran super wide, and thank you guys for doing the broadcast. It's good fun.
All right, thank you, man. You have yourselves a good rest of the day. Sam, back to you. Any closing thoughts?
Yes, I mean, another fantastic event in this series. Like I said earlier on, one of the best racing events we've seen all season long in this championship. And Suzuka, looking forward to that one. One of the best circuits in the world, probably in the top 3 best circuits in the world, I imagine, for most people. It's that one, so mega looking forward to that one. It should be great.
You're definitely excited for Suzuka. Well, that's going to wrap it up here on Apex Racing TV from deep in the heart of Texas. Broadcasting behind the camera has been Frederick Nichtel. I've been joined by Sam Fitzpatrick in the booth, and I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.